I finally finished building my Admiral Blacktusk, and he is so much fun. Hello everybody, I'm Roadblock, and this is a Raid Shadow Legends video. So we have Admiral Blacktusk here. I pulled him, it's been a while now, definitely been a couple of weeks, and I was just taking my time. I was being patient, waiting to book him during CBC and all those appropriate things, right? We do have him fully mastered for masteries. We'll start with masteries. I did go down to Fearsome Presence to give me increased chance to land some of his stuns, and then lasting gifts to potentially extend some of the buffs that he does. And if you remember, when I first pulled him, we did some testing if lasting gifts will extend his very unique stone skin that he places, and at the time it did, which is really, really cool. So there is a chance that I can get a 2-turn stone skin out of this ability. Let's do a quick review of his kit, and we'll start with the A1 and work our way down. So the A1 attacks one enemy, has a 40% chance of placing a stun. This debuff cannot be resisted when this champion is attacking out of their active turn. For the A2, removes all debuffs from all allies, so a full team cleanse, then teams up with all allies to attack a single enemy. The allies joining the attack will use their default skills. A typical ally attack, but the key thing to note here, it is a 3-turn cooldown. This is very, very important to understand because there are not a lot of ally attacks on a 3-turn cooldown. Listen up, I just got a new promo link that you can use to follow along with me on my latest free-to-play adventure and get a free Elenaril as well as 3 more powerful epics as you level up. Here's how to do it. Log out of Plarium Play and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Go to your inbox and claim your first champ. Don't miss out on your chance to get Elenaril right after signing up, as well as Fayne, Uugo, and Tagoar as you progress through Raid. Click on my link right now and let's crush this together. Lady Mikage, one of the better ally attackers in the game. That is a 4-turn cooldown, even when booked. Padric, another ally attacker, if I can find him, 4-turn cooldown, right? It is not that common. In fact, why don't we just go ahead and do a search here for other effects, ally attack. So these are all the ally attackers that are on my account. 4-turn, 4-turn. Morag is a 4-turn. Berikin the Fat, 4-turn, right? Ally attacks are 4-turn cooldowns. Not our boy Admiral Blacktusk here. He gets a 3-turn ally attack with a cleanse. This is really good. Plain and simple. Awesome, awesome ability. Big fan of that ability. Just by itself, a 3-turn ally attack with a cleanse. Say no more. This guy should instantly be in any team where you're trying to use ally attackers because he will just be better. And he brings an all battle aura as well, which we'll get to. So now we get into the faction unity stuff. On its base level, he removes all buffs from a target and places a stun debuff on them for 2 turns. Fills the champion's turn meter by 50% and fills the turn meter by an additional 10% each buff removed from the target. Now, with one faction ally, the buff removal and stun cannot be resisted. That's only one other dwarf for an unresistible single target stun with a buff strip. Very good, right? 2 faction allies, we reset the cooldown of this skill when an enemy is killed while under a stun debuff placed by this champion. And on 3 faction allies, allies deal double damage to targets under stun debuffs placed by this champion. Now his stuns are single target, so really you're only going to get double damage mostly on single targets. But so I don't care too much about the 3 faction ally part of it, but still overall just a good ability. And comes in handy quite often at times. Now, for the passive, allies will counterattack when they lose 10% or more of their max HP from a single hit. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate. With one faction ally, whenever an ally places a Fear, True Fear, Freeze, Provoke, Sleep, Stun, or Petrification debuff, fills that champion's turn meter by 20%. Occurs once per skill. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one activate. This will come in handy with the team that we are building around Admiral Blacktusk. With 2 faction allies, whenever an ally is attacked, there is a 50% chance of placing a decreased resistance and a decreased speed debuff on the attacker for 1 turn. If the ally is under block damage, unkillable ally protection, or stone skin, about to come into a big play here, the chance is increased to 100%. This time I won't read the multiple champions thing. I don't know why I kept reading that, guys. 3 faction allies at the start of each round places a stone skin buff on all allies for 1 turn. Now, let's talk about this just a little bit. For those of you who don't know, know, maybe didn't see my other video, the stone skin buff placed does not fall under the same category of stone skin as with the gear set. So if we look at a champion that has stone skin on them, you will see gives the stone skin buff at the start of the round, then the gear applies the 50% chance of blocking removals or steals. That does not come default with stone skin, but in this case it doesn't matter because hopefully we're protecting the stone skin buffs, which is something that you can't do. So while regular stone skin only has a 50% chance at removal, I have to have a 75% chance to place protected stone skin debuffs. I believe it's 75. Let me verify that here. Yeah, 75% chance to place a protected buff. So that is why I have Admiral Blacktusk in a 9-piece protection. Now he's only 302 speed, and everybody on this team is actually a little bit on the slower side, but we are getting stone skin, which kind of can make up for it. So if I go to Dwarf Faction, so we can look at everybody on the team here. We have Admiral Blacktusk, of course. We have my Trunda. Trunda is in a Savage set. Her stats are as follows: 210 attack, 103% crit rate, 334 crit damage, 7k attack. I said 210 attack, I meant 210 speed. A little slow on the speed, but reasonable stats otherwise. 5-star blessing on her. Currently still in Heaven cast. I am considering Crackling Roots, but I haven't really had a chance to see if that's that much of an improvement. Now, I did just remaster her to be more in line with this. So we do have Helm Smasher, and then this was kind of the build that just made the most sense to me. And then I went the defense tree on the second end of it. So you'll get to see the impact and how she kind of plays here in a little bit. The other big part of the team is going to be Torment. Torment pairs, in my opinion, especially well with this champion because of the ally attack. You get the chance at the freeze at the beginning, right? And he does bring that passive freeze as well. So because you're going second, there's a chance that he's going to freeze the enemy outright if they're using turn meter boosting or buff, which can come in pretty handy. So I've had some pretty reasonable luck there. I can't quite get him in a full feral build. I'd like to, because I want to increase the damage output of my team, but I can't quite get there. I don't have enough. I want the accuracy to be high enough, and I can't get there with the current feral boots and gloves that I have left on the account. And I don't want to strip off of anybody else who is probably serving a more important role right now. And the last champion that we have on the team is going to be Demitha, right? An epic. One that is most commonly known for unkillable clan boss teams, but can prove to be pretty handy here as well, especially in a protection set. Now, I could improve her build quite a bit. As you can see, very few pieces of this gear are enchanted or improved. I mostly did this as a test build and kind of a proof of concept. And I want to go back to Admiral Blacktusk's passive a little bit here. If they're under block damage, unkillable, ally protection, or stone skin buffs, and it doesn't have to be placed by this champion, then you have the effects of decreased resistance and decreased speed to be 100%. So the block damage that comes out of Demitha can be a big help with that. She also brings a mini cleanse, but we don't need it because we get a cleanse from Admiral Blacktusk. But what I really like about it is the possibility. Sorry, let me show Demitha's speed. She's 281, a little slow, but again, not enchanted, and her masteries could be changed to maybe get more speed out of her. But the big kind of thing that I want to talk about is that she could be used to save me from bombs. Bombs are a big threat to stone skin, right? It requires a little bit of luck, and but if it's a 2-turn bomb, and like Nishak, it wouldn't work against something like Commodus. But if I get somebody to place like slightly longer effect bombs, then I can block damage and remove the chance of those bombs from killing me, or maybe even cleanse them off and just maybe buy Admiral Blacktusk another turn. Other reason I really like Demitha in this team is that, let's say that they can't get through my stone skin, not a bomb team, the stone skin is fine and they can't really get through it, but I maybe am not doing as much damage back to them as I'd like, and so I'm having trouble getting through them. Well, now I have another opportunity to keep my team alive with a protected block damage buff. Now we're just going to go ahead and work on some teams. You can see I did some testing. I fought 2 teams before making this video. I am using Blacktusk as my aura lead for the speed in all battles. He is the only speed aura that we get out of here. And of course, the accuracy in all battles. Sorry, I said speed in all battles for dwarves, and then accuracy in all battles for everybody here on the team as well. So we're going to jump right into it. I've been lucky too. I haven't really been outsped that much. And there you go. There's the freezes. All those freezes that happened there, those all came from Torment, right? Sify did not get frozen, but we do have some different approaches that we can take on this particular one. So we can actually try. Let's see what the A2 will do. Let's see an ally attack in action here. Almost getting them down. Right, we get to take a big hit from Mountain King to that Stone Skin, and everyone is under. We did get a freeze off of the AoE A1 from Torment, who has a chance to freeze, so I am happy about that. But the other, oops, didn't want to A1 again there, to be completely honest with you. But let's go ahead and put block damage up on everybody now, and then I will go ahead and hit with Trunda here. Let's go, Trunda, right? Good hits. Now I can remove all of those buffs and stun him. We get an extra turn because we removed so many buffs, and he just whacked him for 46k. I'm probably running a little bit wrong of a build on him. I feel like if he can hit for 46k on his A1, I could probably get a lot out of a damage build on him. But I really like the idea of protection on him. Now, this might be a bad matchup for me because Trunda does increased damage to Stone Skin. So there is a good chance that she could have gone right through my Stone Skin. But in this case, let's just go ahead and attack their Trunda. We take her out with our own Trunda, and now we can go ahead and get some more stuff going on. I'll go ahead and again reapply those debuffs, and we can get rid of the unkillable there. With Admiral, we can just A1 here. Again, like, we're getting a lot of freezes off of Tormund's A1s, right? Like, I feel like this isn't anything crazy. This is very low level gold 5 right now. You know, this isn't like super powerful teams. This isn't Platinum Arena, but I'm really liking the results that I'm getting so far. So here, I think it's kind of a good idea. Let's see if we can kill this. Actually, let's just kill... No, yeah, we'll try to kill the Python here. At least get him lower, right? Because Trunda's A1 can hit hard, doesn't hit particularly hard here, but we also got 2 freezes. Now, a little bit of a downside is that there's the chance that Python could have unfroze them. Mithrala will unfreeze everybody, but we've got our protection out now. Take 0 damage, and then we can let Trunda come in and do her thing. We take everybody out. We can also remove any buffs left over. Man, he is not built for damage, but he hits pretty hard. So they get a buff out there again, which can be annoying, unkillable. I don't think I really have a way to go through. That goes through unkillable? I honestly wasn't aware, or maybe she took a turn and the buff wore off. Okay, so this is another speed team. This will be the last one that we do, but I feel like I'm demonstrating pretty well the effectiveness of Admiral Blacktusk. So again, really good against Arbiter teams, right? Because I'm getting those freezes out there. So I'm a little scared about her. Even though I am under Stone Skin, she could still lock us out. So we'll try an ally attack there. Let's see what we can get. We landed a stun there, but we also killed. And look at all the freezes that we're getting out of Torment. It just pairs so well with Torment. Now we've got our block damage up. And then, of course, Trunda is going to do Trunda things. Don't really need to place the stun there, but we can. And we can just go ahead and A1 and finish up. So I'm really liking Admiral Blacktusk. And I wanted to showcase one other area, so a little bit of time, where he has been a big improvement, and that is also in a PvE area. So I have him in my Fire Knight 10 team now, and one of the reasons I put him in is because that team uses double nuke. Now I could use Trunda as my nuker for this, however, the reason I'm not is because I want the decreased speed from Thor. Plain and simple. Also, I think Thor hits a little bit harder than Trunda, which is crazy to say, right? Because everyone loves her in Hydra. I don't know if it's my build. I don't know if it's what it is about my Trunda that I just don't seem to get the damage out of. But regardless, I do have a lot of luck with Thor. So we're just going to keep that. And we don't really miss out on too much from Admiral Blacktusk's passives. So really quickly, if we just look at him again and we take a look at only 2 allies, we're not getting the double damage from stun, but we can't stun the boss anyways, and we're not getting the stone skin, but that's okay because we're not counting on the stone skin. We're just looking for that 3-turn ally attack is what I'm really looking for here. So we'll go ahead and start the team. I'll try to show you the builds if I can remember before the end of it, just so you guys know. But yeah, you can see he uses, so right now I have him, he's not allowed to use any of his abilities right now, but look how often these stuns are coming up. It's a little ridiculous that he's almost able to stun as effectively as Lady Mikage was, and she had an AoE stun, right? Like these champions are locked out because he just keeps getting so many turns because of the different abilities with his stun mechanics. If you're wondering why I'm using Blessed Bash there, it's actually to keep it off cooldown, or on cooldown I should say, because I don't want to have it available in the early phases of the boss fight. So Padrig is my fastest. He's going to give me the ally attack. We come in with the second ally attack and we are able to start taking the turn meter down. So the Newts are told to open with their A1s. That should place decreased speed, but it got resisted, which might actually cause this team to fail, which I'm not super excited about. But let's see if we can still hold on here. It helps. That's why I have them on cooldown for their Blessed Bash, so they have it up more often. But I think the boss is about to get a turn without that decreased speed. I don't know. Yeah, that Blessed Bash is a problem right there. Yeah. Boss is going to get a turn. We're still going to be fine, but that is a little unfortunate. The resist on the decreased speed is a pretty big problem there, but we should rotate back around to Blacktusk's ally attack here, and we should make a big old dent pretty soon. All right, this ally attack is going to take the turn meter all the way down. This is actually the worst result I've ever seen, and it's just a 3% result, guys, because of the decreased speed being resisted from Thor. That's the big reason why I bring him. His accuracy should be high enough to be able to land it consistently, so I'm going to blame it on 3%. You can see it landed right there, no problem. And we also had a couple of resists on the A1 of one of our Newts as well. Now he might be a little undertuned for the accuracy, but you can see no resists there. So one of the frustrating things about the fight is getting 3%ed, and even with my other team that used Mikage, that was still an issue, right? Either way, you can kind of see how it works, and he did get more ally attack off than I've gotten from Mikage. And I want to make sure too, let me check the team setup here and just make sure that Blacktusk, yep, he's told to prioritize the ally attack. So it feels like sometimes, you know, it's like, it should be up by now. Where's my ally attack, right? Could just simply be that he is a little bit slower than Mikage. Well, quite a bit slower. He's at 302, and we've got Mikage at 353. And the one thing that Mikage brings too is a ton of speed, because I do have her blessing as intimidating presence. So she's increasing Padrig's aura by quite a bit more than what we're currently experiencing. So we are a little bit slower on this team now, which is why we really need that decreased speed to land. But still, the team so far hasn't failed, even though that one looked pretty close. We still haven't failed, and I've been pretty happy with it. So hopefully I can get a blessing for Padrig or Blacktusk, and we should be able to get that team far more consistent in the future. But that's my showcase on Admiral Blacktusk. Forgot to show the builds on those champions, so let's do that very, very quickly for you guys. Recently used. So Thor is just 210 speed, 6500 attack, 103 crit rate with 362 crit damage. For Newt, this is my primary Newt. So this Newt is also used in Sand Devil. So 257 speed, 101% crit rate, 302 crit damage, 362 accuracy, and 4000 defense. This is my second Newt, 4600 defense, 105 accuracy, but a lot slower at 205. Sorry, 105 crit rate, 295 crit damage, slower at 205, and has 337 accuracy. What's the first Newt have? 362, yeah. So I believe we're within the right ranges, especially because we are getting that increased accuracy as well from Admiral Blacktusk. So yeah, we should be able to get pretty well. Padrig is also 9-piece protection, 314 speed, so not the fastest, but one of the faster champions on the account, to be honest. That's the builds, just because I know you guys always ask, show us the builds after the video. So either way, guys, thank you for watching. I'm going to end pretty quickly here because it was a little bit longer video than I expected it to be. But if you're new here, please consider subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Take care.